Meet Robin Middleton, MacKay's Director of Professional Standards, Education, Training, and Development. Yes, she does wear a lot of hats, but she's also known as our UFE and soon-to-be CFE secret weapon. If you're looking for a firm that puts emphasis on the support and development given to their students, take a moment to listen to what she has to say. So how does the process start?
We spend 2 days with the students going over exam strategy, actually writing simulations, giving them exam tips, because we want them to see the process before they later in the year attend at the Densmore process. So basically what we do is by the time they attend the Densmore program, they have now seen the methodology twice.
What does our support look like?
So the benefit for our students is that by the time they get to the Densmore preparatory program, they have seen the process, the approach, the methodology, and the strategy. It's now their second time. And because of the fact that it's their second time, that gives them the ability to pick up nuances that they would not be able to pick up if they were seeing it for the first time. Okay, so they go through our preparatory program, and then they go to the Densmore program. They're with Densmore for 7 days, whatever the program is. It'll be changing now for CFE in terms of how that's delivered because the process is changing, but they will go off to the Densmore program. And then when they come back, they go into their group study process. And then what we do is the group study period is 4 weeks. And so they study, in their groups for 2 weeks. And then at the end of 2 weeks, we do a third time of working with them on the approach. So usually we deliver that by video conference because at that point, they're back in their home offices or their home cities. And we spend an afternoon working through 2 of the simulations that they've written that week and walk them back through the process, because what happens is that when they're studying, even though they've been shown the process and the approach again, you start to develop bad habits, right? You start to walk down the wrong path. So what we want to do at that point in the study period is bring them back. Like make sure that they understand the process, make sure they're looking for the right things in the simulation and responding in the same way. Because after we deliver that session, they still have 2 more weeks of study. And what we want to do is that if they're on the wrong track, we want to get them back on the right track for that final 2 weeks. If they're already scoring and scoring well, we want them to score better because we need to keep them involved and inspired.
Mentoring.
The mentor works with the student from months and months before the exam to make sure they're doing the right things before they even enter the study process, but then works with them consistently and continually through the study period. They have weekly meetings. They have sometimes more than weekly meetings, coffee, lunch, to discuss issues that the student is finding. And honor roll students happen when you have students who are performing well, but you have mentors who push them to perform even better.
Individual attention.
For students who are performing well, the individual attention that they receive from their mentor, whom they work with every week, often more than once a week, once, twice, 3 times a week, helps them push themselves through to the next level. It helps them to continue to achieve and to continue to push forward.
Our pass rates.
Pass rates in Canada have not been published for many years. However, we do have market intelligence and we have an idea of how our competitors achieve. And our goal is to achieve pass rates that equal or exceed that at the large firms. So our goal has been 90%, and for the last several years we've achieved over 90%, including in each of the last 2 years we've had a medalist each year. So that's been very exciting for us.
Success stories.
We have many success stories that we're proud of. People bring different background, different approach, different set of circumstances to the exam. It's a very challenging and difficult process. Some students just are successful and go right through the process, without any difficulty. For other students, it's far more challenging. And our success stories are around the students who have different types of challenges. Sometimes and oftentimes those challenges are nothing to do with the work environment, but it could be something in their personal life. It could be bad habits, right? It could be things like learning disabilities, or it could be just a multitude of factors. People, for example, students who deal with extreme anxiety, and anxiety is a big issue with this exam. You can't be anxious, because if you're anxious, you can't respond to the questions, particularly on a time-based exam. So the success stories for me personally are about the students who we've been able to help despite, their background, to achieve success.
Hidden talents.
One of the other factors that really excites us as a firm, and me as an individual, are the students that you see hidden talent. Sometimes the talent isn't on the surface, but it's underneath. And it's having the ability to work with those students and to help them to achieve their potential.
The UFE becomes the CFE. What's changing?
Our approach to the program will only change marginally, in that the timing of our preparatory program will be slightly altered. The things that will not change, what's been successful, best practices in Canada, are the monthly study period, the mentor, the tracking. So we will continue to track our students weekly. We will continue to assign each student to a mentor. So in a lot of ways, while everything is different, many of the things are exactly the same.